Welcome back to day 4 reviewing the men's 2020 Australian Open. The first match I'm going to look at is Dominic Thiem against the unseeded Australian Alex Bold. The Aussie did lead the match 2-1 before Dominic Thiem fought back and won the match 3-2, losing just 3 games in the final 2 sets. There's a couple of ways you can look at this match for Thiem, different perspectives. On a positive note, he fought back well from 2-1 down, showed he's got stamina, showed he used his experience, and he played some very good tennis throughout the match, just not consistently enough, but he does move on to round 3, which is the most important thing. On a negative note, I think it's a slight concern that he's losing 2 sets against a player that's ranked 140th in the world, although it is Alex Bold's probably the biggest match of his career. Being a local Aussie, he had lots of support out there, and that definitely spurred him on. Definitely played a factor in his good performance. It's probably tough for Thiem up against a crowd that was supporting the opponent for the full match, but I'm yet to be convinced that Thiem can win a slam away from the French Open. He's obviously reached that final twice, and he's a great clay court player, but I haven't really seen his game progress on hard court or grass over the last couple of years. I hope he proves me wrong this week and has a good run, but he's going to have to play a lot better tennis than he did today and beat a lot better players if he is going to lift the title on next Sunday. Moving on, you've got Karen Khachanov. This was a great match against a player I haven't seen a lot of, actually, unseeded young Swede, Mikael Ymer. Just a great match this. It was just a tussle, just massive baseline rallies, huge power shots, huge serving. And I think Ymer is one to watch in the future. He doesn't really get mentioned as part of the next gen, but he is only 21. He played out some great points with Khachanov. He definitely matched him in terms of skill, in terms of heart and fight. He did actually lead in the final set. He had a break on Khachanov and he was serving for the match, but he did get a bit tight. You could see he'd never been that sort of experienced before. He'd never served out a big match on a big court like Melbourne's, and he just struggled, and Khachanov used his experience to get over the line in that one. From Khachanov's point of view, he's similar to Alex Zverev, really. He came on the scene and he has got a huge game, and everyone was predicting him to sort of take over and maybe be the first next gen to win a maiden Grand Slam. But for me, he's just too inconsistent. For 10 minutes he's just one extreme to another. For 10 minutes he's unplayable, and the next 10 minutes he might give you 3 games in a row. It's something he does need to cut out of his game. I understand that his game does come with risks. If you're going to hit a big forehand, play backhands down the line, serve big on first and second serve, it is going to come with risks, and you are going to make errors. But he's making too many errors if he wants to get to the latter stage of a Grand Slam tournament. Another 5-set thriller was Andreas Seppi against Stan Wawrinka. Again, it's a brilliant tussle throughout. Quite contrasting styles. Seppi came into the net a lot, tried to keep the points short. He knew he probably couldn't engage with Stan from the back of the court. We all know about Stan's backhand and forehand from the back of the court. He's got great variations, very very good slice. He's got a great drop shot, and he can rally all day, really. So Andres done well not to get engaged into Stan's game. He played his own game, particularly on his serve. There wasn't many breaks of serve throughout the match. And similar to the match before, Seppi did actually break Stan to lead 4-3 in the 5th set. He was on serve, and then Stan, as Stan always does, really produced his best tennis when it mattered most. I was talking about this yesterday. Stan's a big match experience. We know how good his mentality is when he gets to these final stages of tournaments. He's very good at getting over the line and producing his best tennis, and he did today. He looked down and out. I thought Seppi was going to serve it out. He hadn't really been broken all match, and then Stan just produced 3 games that you're not probably no one see 3 better games from somebody all tournament. He was just unplayable for 3 games, and he turned around from being 4-3 down to win the deciding set 6-4. So he moves on to round 3. And I've said throughout the week that if there's one player you need to watch, it's Stan Wawrinka. Because if he reaches the quarterfinals and semi-finals and he really hits his peak form and the conditions fall right from on the day, then he's very difficult to stop. Whether he's facing Djokovic, Federer, Nadal, he's not frightened of anybody standing. He knows he's got a big enough game to beat anybody on his day, and he can back himself to produce, because he's done it on 3 occasions, winning 3 Grand Slams. So Stan moves on to round 3 with a 5 sets win over Seppi. David Goffin, this was a strange match really. I've backed Goffin from the start of the tournament to make a big run. He played brilliant tennis at the ATP Cup, which included a 2 sets to 0 victory over Rafael Nadal. And this morning he started as he means to go on really, against Pierre Hubert from France. Never really had the best form on hard court, and I expected Goffin to cruise through that match, and it looked like he was going to do that. For the first 2 sets he was in cruise control, he was serving well, he was timing the ball particularly well, returning well, and it just looked like Goffin was a level above. He was going to move on to round 3 unscathed. All fairness to Hubert, he came fighting back. Goffin made a lot of errors which let him into the match, but Hubert took advantage. And if it's one negative of Goffin that I have got, he does lose concentration. He looked in cruise control, and then all of a sudden he just made an influx of errors. His game just went out the window. He just couldn't time the ball like he was. He wasn't serving as well as he was. And if he does that against the likes of Federer, Nadal's and Djokovic's down the line, then he is going to get punished. You can't give them players a look in, let alone a set. And he gave Hubert the 4th set in 6-1. It was more Goffin's errors rather than Hubert's play, but Goffin did manage to raise his level again the deciding set and grind out a win, which is important. He moves on and hopefully learn from that experience that he knows he can't do that again. He let Hubert back in the match, and he could have quite easily lost that match that he should never have. He was in cruise control in them opening 2 sets. Should never been in that situation. Gael Monfils against Ivo Karlovic. This wasn't the watch I was hoping for, much down to Karlovic's style of play, which I guess you know what you're going to get when you come into the match. Monfils was apparently nursing a hand injury coming into the match, so his serve was way down on speed. He had to use that serve, more body serves, serving out wide. He had to be clever with his serve today, constructing points rather than just hitting outright aces. But I think he done well with it. He lost the opening set, did Monfils, but I always fancied him to come back, and as the match went on he read Karlovic's serve better. He started to return better, and he was bringing Karlovic into the net, and as we know, Karlovic is a very good server, but Monfils really started to read it by the end, and he was passing him with ease. He won the last 2 sets pretty comfortably, broke Karlovic twice, but as we know, Karlovic is pretty one-dimensional. He's 40-year-old these days, he's not getting any younger, but Monfils worked him out. All Monfils had to do really was just keep the ball in court, just try and get into a rally with Karlovic. As long as he got his serve back, Monfils always fancied himself to win the point, and we all know he's got a big game. Just move Karlovic around the court, hit him into the corners, and Monfils closed that match out. Went also on to watch his girlfriend Elina Svitolina move on to round 3, so good luck to them too later in the week. And Nick Kyrgios, the local boy, he got a 4-set win over Gilles Simon, serving 28 aces and hitting a massive 67 winners. And I think there's something different about Nick Kyrgios this week. He seems to be playing just out of his skin, and he's got the potential last 16 round match against Rafael Nadal. I don't know whether that's motivating him as well, because we all know he likes to face the big boys and knock them out if he can. But Nick's just Nick really. He's got an absolutely huge game. Obviously a massive serve, huge forehand. And Simon battled well. He came back into the match in the 3rd set, nicking it right at the end. And for a minute it looked like Simon was ready to make a comeback, but Kyrgios just overpowered Simon really. Simon, as I said yesterday, he has got very good defence and very good variations, but Kyrgios' power was just too much for him in the end, and he returned serve as well today. Simon struggled with his second serve. He won less than 50% of his points on his second serve. It was just Kyrgios' return was just giving him that advantage all the time. So he moves on to round 3. Elsewhere, it was a good day for Rafael Nadal again, the world number 1. He beat Federico Del Bonis in 3 straight sets, and also a good day for the next gen. Daniil Medvedev and Alexander Zverev claimed straight sets wins too. And Taylor Fritz, the young American, defeated the South African big server Kevin Anderson in 5 sets. Looking ahead to tomorrow, starting with Marin Cilic against Bautista Agut of Spain. I think this is a great match stylistically. As I've said a number of times about Cilic, he's got that, if the conditions fall right for him, he is one to watch. Obviously winning the US Open a few years ago, so he's got that big match experience. He's got the experience of lifting titles, and he looks back to good form again. Following disappointing 2019, he gained that confidence boost and win in round 2, and he looks in good shape this week. Does Cilic. Bautista Agut, he's like a little Duracell bunny, as we know. Never stops moving around the court, gets everything back, and I hope Cilic is prepared to be playing lots of volleys, because Bautista Agut just makes you work, he makes you get everything, makes you play the extra shot all the time. And Bautista Agut will be looking to get into the rallies with Cilic, bring him into the net, use his slice. He's going to have to be clever with his serve also. Bautista Agut, we know he hasn't got the most powerful serve, but he's very good at positioning it. He's good with his body serves. Got a very good second serve, and he constructs his points well. Bautista Agut, it's a match between attack and defence, whether Bautista Agut can defend the big ground strokes of Cilic, and whether Cilic can not make too many errors and just be patient, not try and redline the ball too early. We know the conditions aren't the best at the minute in Melbourne, but I do favour Bautista Agut in that one. I think he'll wear Cilic down and claim a win that might go to 5 sets again. Another marathon matches, we've had many today. Another good match is Milos Raonic against Stefanos Tsitsipas. Raonic is sort of gone under the radar again this week. Another player who missed quite a lot last year with injury, but since coming back, his serve looks on point again this tournament. A very similar player to Cilic, really very good forehand, very big serve, but other than that, hasn't got a lot else to his game. He's a little bit one-dimensional, Raonic, but Stefanos Tsitsipas, I do expect him to come through that match. Just down to he's got more to his game than Raonic has. He's obviously got a brilliant single-handed backhand. Tsitsipas, he can match the serve of Raonic, but Tsitsipas moves around the court better for me. He's got more about his game, and he's obviously got a massive support in Melbourne after claiming that big win over Roger Federer here last year. And also, 2 of the big 3 are back in action, Novak Djokovic and Roger Federer. Both of them look comfortable wins on paper, and they'll be looking to progress into round 3. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back tomorrow to review day 5 of the men's 2020 Australian Open.